Welcome back, True Seeker. Another mass shooting, and already the politicians calling for yet again an assault weapons ban. Joe Biden, you might have heard Joe Biden's remarks. He was playing that slow Joe character, and he said, "This soulless nation, I mean the soul of the nation." Again, you guys, it's just absolutely pathetic that the feds continue to get away with this. Notice the feds were on the scene. The ATF was there. What's the ATF doing at a private Christian school? But the feds were on the scene at the address 33 Burton Hills Boulevard, where 33 teachers are employed per the state website, only for 3 children and 3 adults to reportedly be killed. And this makes about the 3,333rd mass shooting with these exact details in the last decade since Sandy Hook, which is also being brought up today. If you turn on CNN or MSNBC, they're saying enough is enough. This has been going on over a decade since Sandy Hook. It only took New Zealand a matter of weeks to take away the guns. Why can't we be like New Zealand? This reminds me of Uvalde. Did you see those children holding hands? That was as tragic to see as the day of Sandy Hook. Again, you guys, all this emotional BS, and like the thumbnail says, it would be just as logical to make the argument to ban 28-year-old white women based on the shooter reportedly being a 28-year-old white woman, and we'll get to why that is. There's a reason that they're reporting that. It's very obvious if you're paying attention. We'll get to what a ritual it is to say it's the 28-year-old white woman, but it is literally just as logical to say let's ban 28-year-old white women as it is to say let's ban assault weapons. Again, the founding fathers gave us the right to bear arms to protect ourselves from tyrants within the government, and also from tyrants outside the government, and they exist in both forms. And we've never seen so much tyranny in our lifetimes, but Americans have their heads so far up their ass that they don't recognize who rules over us, or that these people work by the same numerical pattern over and over and over and over and over. I mean, it's just pathetic. It's pathetic. So let's break it down. Let's hope we can wake up a few more of this soulless nation, as Joe Biden first put it. And really, I think that was the right statement. It is a soulless nation. If people had a soul, they'd see through the evil that rules over this nation, and they'd stop fooling for its tricks, or falling for its tricks, being fools for its tricks. Anyhow, take a good look, you guys, if you're new here. You got to know the language that the Cabal uses. It comes from Kabbalah. Look into the Book of Formation, a Kabbalistic text. It says God created the world with numbers, letters, and words. It's a Kabbalistic belief. There's a practice of bringing numbers and words together. It's called Gematria. There's a song out there, Gematria, the killing name. There's another song out there called Murder by Numbers, where killing's as simple as A, B, C is 1, 2, 3. In the lyrics, it talks about killing being the sport of the elected. And Stuart Copeland, who's in that band, The Police, that sung that song, his daddy was in the CIA. Go figure. But anyhow, the address is 33. The school website says 33 teachers employed, and the headlines say 3 children, 3 adults killed. We've seen it a million times before. Gematria, same pattern over and over. Federal, FF, can't say that word on Google's platform. They hate it. Police, masonry, secrecy, order, they're all 33. All of them. And again, here's the headlines from NBC to CNN to USA Today to the rest of them. 3 and 3. CNN's front page, 3 and 3. The school's website, the Covenant School at a glance, founded 2001. Head of school, Dr. Catherine Kuntz. Faculty, 33 teaching faculty. Over 50% have doctorates. Funny enough, the master teacher number in numerology is 33. 33 is the master teacher number, and in Gematria, teacher equals 33. And this is a Christian school. When we think Christianity and 33, what do we think of? Oh, we think of Jesus on the cross. Are we coming up on Easter? Yeah, we're just days away from Easter. Wonder if there's a coincidence there. Wonder if there's another coincidence. The last time we heard about this big of a tragedy in Nashville, it was on Christmas, wasn't it? The Christmas Day bombing. I remember covering the 33s in that one as well. So anyhow, today's date numerology, 37. 37. Talked about this morning with what was going on in Israel. Shooting has the Gematria 37. Another path for today's date numerology is 73. So we have 37 and 73 date numerology. Notice the Covenant School equals 73. Nashville, Tennessee equals 73. The headmaster of the school is Catherine Kuntz, 73. If you're new here, this is what we're showing every day. Again, I've been here nearly every day now for the last decade. In August, it'll be a decade. Showing how this is the news every single day. Every mass shooting just like this. All of them. Every last one. It's not an exaggeration. It's facts. Every single day. Everyone that makes the news, that is. The ones in the news. I'm not saying shootings don't happen. We know shootings happen in real life. They don't make the news. They're not on the news. But the ones that are in the news, they're all like this. All of them. And again, here's Dr. Catherine Kuntz talking about her school. And reminds me, I used to be a teacher. For people who don't know, I've worked at 2 private schools, and both of them were ran by women who were not good people. So I just wonder about Dr. Catherine Kuntz. I haven't worked for her, but it would just be a familiar pattern. They were all about the money. It wasn't about the education at all. Her title, though, how she has on the website, Dr. Catherine Kuntz. She had the title to it. It's 86 instead of 73. Here we are on the 86th day of the year. CNN, if you turn on CNN, 28-year-old white woman. That's what it says on the screen. 28-year-old white woman. Suspect, 28-year-old white woman. What's that equal? 86 for the 86th day of the year. Who's the governor of Tennessee? William Byron Lee, 86. And Nashville's on what coordinate? The 86th meridian west. Notice it bleeds into the 37th parallel as well, does Nashville. But the 86th meridian west, and here we are on the 86th day of the year, and Slow Joe's on the TV saying it's time to 86 the Second Amendment. We'll talk more about that, how perfect it all is, as they parallel this to Sandy Hook. Now, with regards to the 28-year-old white woman, what happened 28 years ago? Oh, that's right. The assault weapons ban happened 28 years ago. 28 years ago. It was September 13th, 94. So September 13th this year will mark 29 years, but right now we're at 28 years and change. So this woman, this supposed 28-year-old white woman, born at the time of the last assault weapons ban. And doesn't it sound so realistic, you guys? A 28-year-old white woman goes and shoots up the small private Christian school, which has allowed the talking heads on TV today to say that you're not safe anywhere, not even in a small Christian private school. It could be your school next. You know, all the parents are like, geez, I was taking my kids out of public school because I haven't heard about any Christian private school mass shootings, but I guess that thought's over. Even the small, tiny Christian private school isn't safe. But look at it, you guys. From the anniversary of the assault weapons ban to today is exactly 28 weeks. Wow. It must be another coincidence. And, just the other day I was talking about the significance of 28 and 33 and where those numbers come together with 911, who you call when you call the police. And again, if you don't know, 911 is the 156th prime number. And when you spell out 33 as a word and when you spell out 28 as a word, they both equal 156. And World Trade Center construction began in 68, 33 years before 2001. And World Trade Centers opened in 73, 28 years before 2001. They're numbers that come together quite often, 33 and 28. So realize we talked a lot about 33 in this and 28. That's the other number here. And I just brought that up again just a few days ago. But not to be outdone, Bill Lee, it's exactly 28 weeks from his upcoming birthday. Always these shootings perfectly sync with the politicians, and we haven't even gotten to the mayor yet. So again, the address was 33 Burton Hills Boulevard, where 33 teachers work, where 3 adults and 3 children were killed, where in Gematria, federal, police, masonry, secrecy, and order are 33. For the record, Tennessee also equals 137, which is the 33rd prime, kind of like how Washington, D.C. equals 137. The land of the Masonic headquarters, the House of the Temple, that has 33 columns on the outside that are each 33 feet tall. Masonry, very biblical. For the record, Bible and good book equal 33, like Jesus at 33. Genesis, where it all begins, equals 33. Genesis means in the beginning, which equals 137, the 33rd prime. But yes, all the 33 again, in case you got here late. 33 employees at the school. 33, the master teacher number. And you know what? If you're new here, you should know this. Let's go back up and look at that tweet one more time that they sent out at first. Do you see how it was posted 39 minutes after the hour? And when CNN took the screenshot for the article, they had 163 replies. It's just amazing how they do this stuff over and over. The shooting's 163 days after the mayor's birthday. We'll get to why that matters. But let's just start with the 39 thing. Notice masonry. Masonry's 33 forwards, 39 in reverse. Federal, 33 forwards, 39 in reverse. If you're new, Gematria, very simple. It's the alphabetic order forwards. A is 1 up to Z is 26. It's the alphabetic order in reverse. Z is 1 back to A is 26. It's the alphabetic order with numerology. It's the alphabetic order in reverse numerology. So 33, 39 words that have a relationship. Masonry, which is based on the 39 books of the Old Testament. Notice how Nashville's also got the 39, right? So, posted at 39 minutes after the hour. And the mayor, John Cooper, from his October 15th birthday, he's born in 56, just like Sandy Hook Elementary School. We'll cover that one here in just a second. With what they're doing, Washington State, as I've been mentioning here in my home state, Washington State, we're about to become the 10th state to ban assault weapons. And like I said, it's all synced up with Joe Biden, who said when he came into office that he was going to ban assault weapons like he did back in 94. And now today, Slow Joey's out there saying it's time to get this done. We got to ban the assault weapons. We want to make it that much easier to kick in your door and stick a visor vaccine up your ass. So anyway, it being 163 days after the mayor's birthday, that's the 38th prime number. Words like death, murder, killing, RIP, they all equal 38. Look up the movie poster for Murder by Numbers. They changed the E to the 3 and the B to the 8. This is a number of death and killing over and over. RIP to all the troops that they sent off to Vietnam starting on the date March 8th, 3/8. Not an accident. There's 1,038 kill rituals that we've covered over the years, but since we're in the month of March, I thought I'd bring that one up. Also very interesting, the school's motto. Here's the school's motto. Notice how it goes with the date. In the most simple cipher, the school's motto adds up to 273. Today's date can be written 27/3. Veritas Christo et Ecclesia. I can't speak Latin, so something like that. Today's also 66 days before the state's June 1st birthday, which can be written 1/6 like 16. Of course, Tennessee's Sweet 16. Remember the nice ritual they had in the Alabama game this year? All about 16. It's when Tennessee beat Alabama. Congrats to the winners. Anyway, it's 66 days before the state's birthday. Mass shooting equals 66. 66 is kind of like 6. They're saying 6 dead. 6 dead, 66 days before the state's birthday. And also, they're comparing it to Sandy Hook. You know, that's why the media keeps showing you this picture. You know, the lady on CNN, she was acting all choked up, and she said it just reminds her of Sandy Hook, the young children in a line. You know, and Sandy Hook is a little bit different. They had their hands on each other's shoulders. This time they're holding hands. Surprised they didn't get a school bus out there with a big fat 33 on the back. Who designed this set? Anyway, notice it's 103 days from the Sandy Hook anniversary. Forward, Jesuits 103. In reverse, 86, going with the 86th day of the year. More than a decade now of nonstop school shootings where after every one, politicians on TV saying it's time to go against the Second Amendment. It's time to ban assault weapons. And again, if you guys are new here, the Jesuits run this nation. The Jesuits created modern Freemasonry. By the way, Freemasonry and secret society both equal 58, and it's 58 days from that 1-year anniversary of Uvalde. which they're also bringing up today, which happened on the 144th day of the year, where Jesuit Orders 144. And remember, 19 children killed while 19 officers stood down. Today has 19 date numerology for the Uvalde parallel. That's the chaos number, and the motto is order out of chaos. But understand, these numbers come together a lot. So how perfect. 103 days from the Sandy Hook anniversary, Biden calling for the assault weapons ban. And of course, Sandy Hook has all the Masonic and Jesuit fingerprints all over it, like all of these rituals do. Again, D.C., the federal city, it's the city where the Jesuits have been for longer than the Feds or the Masons, but it's also now the city with the big Masonic HQ, the House of the Temple. And think about this too, because this is the Covenant School. And just think about what Biden said when he came in, how there will be gun reform. What is a covenant? It is a written agreement or promise, usually under seal, between two or more parties, especially for the performance of some action. Think there's been a covenant out there to take away your rights and liberties? Little conspiracy that's not a theory? The deed conveying the land contained restrictive covenants, the common law action to recover damages for breach of such a contract, blah, 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 blah. So let's go back and look at the last assault weapons ban and how by the numbers that was in 94. I won't even talk about Parkland for now. The last assault weapons ban was September 13th, a date that can be written 13/9 like 139. Gun control equals 139. For the record, that's the 34th prime, and Tennessee does equal 34. Shout out to, what was it? Was it Florida Atlantic? Yeah, Florida Atlantic, who beat Tennessee in the tournament, picking up their 34th win of the season. But notice Tennessee, again, gun controls 139, the 34th prime. And just notice things like this, too. Freemasonry, 139. Free, 34. Prime numbers cannot be divided, so they show strength. So they're special. Anyway, Freemasonry, 139. 58, like it's 58 days from Uvalde. So anyway, coming back to Tennessee. 137, that's the 33rd prime. 47, if you're new here, special number. Words like government, authority, Republican, Democrat, Whig, President, White House, Caesar, Trump. They're all 47. Joe Biden, the 47th vice president, becomes president after 47 years in D.C. First took the Oval Office with Obama when Obama was 47 years old. So on and so forth. So Tennessee, fitting state, old Sweet 16. Should remind you of the Jesuits, created in the 16th century, the same century that the calendar rolled out and English was standardized with the 26-letter alphabet and spellings we use today. And ever since then, the Catholic Church growing all across the world. Thus, all the Roman architecture in D.C., which was once a land called Rome on the Potomac, owned by a man named Francis Pope, not to be confused with Pope Francis, the first Jesuit Pope, the 266th Pope, who spoke in D.C. on the 266th day of the year, going with the Jesuit motto, Isus Hominum Salvator. But also about that assault weapons ban back in 94. Notice September 13th is the 256th day of the year. Notice assault weapons ban 256, Second Amendment 256. See how it all comes together? See, that's why you got to know the ciphers. Somebody left a comment this morning. What's the point of having more than one cipher so that they don't have to do the exact same ritual on the exact same day every year? It gives them a little flexibility to still be super redundant. I mean, honestly, if you're asking questions like that, it tells me you need to sleep more, you need to eat better, you need to maybe do some more mind puzzles, something to get, the gray matter working up here, because it's kind of a short bus rider question, if you know what I'm saying. Oh my God, I can't believe he said that. That was so politically incorrect. Yeah, we need a lot more of it, you guys, because notice the whole nation's turned into soy boys, short bus riders, and people who like to get plugged in the rear end. Bring back the 90s, where you could actually make a joke. Just before 94 and the assault weapons ban. Anyway, with regards to September 13th being the day, leaving 109 days left in the year, again, shooting 109. We'll bring that up now as we talk about what's going on in Washington State, not to be confused with Washington, D.C., about to become the 10th state to ban assault weapons. In Gematria, assault weapons ban also equals 50, like Washington, like gun control, like Jesuits. Jay Inslee recently just lost his lieutenant governor, who's a Jesuit priest. Sure, nothing's changed, though. But notice the first reading of this bill to ban assault weapons up here was January 11th. And then the bill was passed by the state Congress on March 8th, 56 days later. Washington, D.C., 56. Society of Jesus, 56. Let me give you another one. Adam Peter Lanza, 56. And if you're new here, this is another long list. Sandy Hook, established in 1956. The shooting in 2012, 56 days later. Funny enough, there's a rumor in Washington state that the state Senate's going to pass the bill as well on April 22nd. We'll see if that's true, but that's Adam Lanza's birthday, the 112th day of the year. The same shooter that was reported to be 112 pounds. One was Sandy Hook and the Jesuits operating in 112 countries. And moving on. The first reading of the bill by the Washington State Senate after the House passed it on March 8th was March 10th, a date written 10/3. And again, this is a bill about an assault weapons ban, which equals 103. And now here we are today with this comparing this to Sandy Hook, 103 days after the Sandy Hook anniversary, as they call for an assault weapons ban, as Joe Biden pretends that it was an accident to say the soulless nation. For all of you guys who think Joe Biden's slow and senile, understand that is the character he plays. It's why some days he's sharp as a tack, and other days he's in slow Joe mode. It's all part of the joke. It wasn't an accident that he said the soulless nation as he addressed this. This nation is soulless. That's why it does not recognize the evil that rules over us, which is why you need to own an assault weapon. And we all need to come together and use them to get rid of the evil, which is totally American to say, and it's what everyone would be saying if they had a soul. Okay. So, not to be outdone, who's the first moron who proposed this bill? Strom Peterson. Oh, of the 21st Legislative District. I'll have you know that Jesuit equals 21. And what does old Strom Howard Peterson's name equal? 103. 103. Wonder why he was the first one there. Here, let me show you what else is in this guy's name. 266, like the Jesuit motto, Isus Omnem Salvator. 95, like how the Jesuits were created to counter the 95 Theses. That's why they were recognized by Rome on the day, leaving 95 days left in the year. Thus why the German Pope just died at age 95 on the last day of the Catholic calendar year in the time of the first, or what did I just say? The German Pope Benedict. Again, Martin Luther, who wrote the 95 Theses. Which brought about the Jesuits. So then in the time of the Jesuit Pope, Pope Francis, then Benedict dies at 95 on the last day, again, of the calendar year. And again, the calendar runs 52 days, or 52 weeks, just like Pope's 52. Calendar's named after the Pope. Pope also equals 56, like who the Jesuits serve, the Society of Jesus. But, yeah, the initial vote was also on a date with 54 numerology. And the vote came 27 days after Jay Inslee, the governor of Washington State's 72nd birthday. Jesuit order 54 forward, 72 in reverse. Remember, the Jesuits and the Catholic Church are a sun-worshiping cult. Sun equals 54. The sun moves 1 degree on the astrological wheel every 72 years. And again, this happening in Washington State. It happened 109 days after Joe Biden's birthday. Remember, shootings 109, but his assault weapons ban in 94, which was largely spearheaded by him, it happened on the day, leaving 109 days left in the year. And from the day that Biden took office to this was also 777 days. That's the order out of chaos motto. Again, that's what all of these shooting rituals are about. Create the disturbance in people's minds, make people go, oh, maybe they're right. Maybe we got to take away our rights and liberties so we can be safe. Wrong, wrong, wrong. The people that are doing this are the people you need to be able to protect yourself from. which is your federal government, and also your state government. Pretty much anyone in government. Again, a word that means mind control. So, you know what? Let's try to give old Strom a call real quick. Everybody should be calling the local politicians in their own neck of the woods that are undermining our rights and liberties. And let me see here. 206-556. How about it? 3194.
Thank you for calling the District Office of State Representative Strom Peterson. We can be reached at 564-888-2336. Again,
all right, let's try that out. 564-888-2336. Let's see.
You have reached the office of State Representative Strom Peterson. This is his legislative assistant, Nick Spurlock. We are unable to take your call at this time. If you are calling to request an appointment, please send an email to nick.spurlock@leg.wa.gov. If you are calling to register your opinion on a legislative issue, you may also call the legislative hotline at 800-562-6000, and an operator will take a detailed message and email it to your representative. Otherwise, please leave a message and we'll get back to you. Thank you for calling and have a wonderful day.
Hi, this message is for Mr. Strom Peterson, and it is about the legislation that he is leading the charge on to ban assault weapons in Washington state. If he could please join us this weekend at the Capitol, I will be out there. My name is Zachary Hubbard. I'm an author. I will be educating about the agenda our government works by day after day to disarm us of our rights and liberties, and a very familiar pattern that has taken away rights and liberties in the time of the pandemic and the ongoing news propaganda about supposed mass shootings. But there's a very specific pattern, and it appears it's alive and well here in Washington state. The assault weapons ban was first read in the House on January 11th. It was passed on March 8th, 56 days later. It kind of goes with the Sandy Hook shooting. That school opened in 1956. The shooting was 56 years later. Then on the anniversary of Sandy Hook, we got the first vaccinated American for COVID, Sandra Lindsay. And all throughout that pandemic, it was one 56 ritual after the next. It started with Gavin Newsom, the Jesuit, saying 56% of California will get coronavirus in 8 weeks, which is 56 days. Anyhow, I educate about the Kabbalistic pattern of letters and numbers, words like Washington, D.C., Society of Jesus, Gavin Newsom, Anthony Fauci, they all equal 56. Again, COVID started 56 years after Trump's Jesuit education began in 64. The Jesuit governor of New York, the 56th governor Cuomo, became the face of the nation, and on and on and on. This went on all across the world and in this nation. And again, it's a reminder that there is a Catholic conspiracy, which the founders knew about, which is why we were given the right to protect ourselves and the right to bear arms to protect ourselves from tyrants, foreign and domestic. And it's very obvious that the tyrants are here, and it looks like the man you work for is one of them, since he's leading this very Jesuit ritual of taking away our rights and liberties in this state. And again, there's a lot of people who are made to take one of those jabs. By the way, coronavirus equals 56, so does COVID vaccine. Go back and look at the death of Captain Tom, who died 56 days after the first person in the UK was vaccinated. Remember, that was William Shakespeare. It was also Maggie Keenan, whose name equaled 56. But anyway, we are exposing the game. I will be down at the Capitol this weekend. And if Strom would like to come out and confront me and explain why I'm wrong and why this pattern's bogus and that there isn't some conspiracy of tyrants to disarm this nation, to take away our rights and liberties, to take away the First Amendment. There isn't some cabal working by a very repetitive code, as they tell us over in the UK, that the UK strain's 56% more infectious, as the CDC tells us that masks are...
Exceeded maximum voicemail duration. Your message will be deleted unless you press 3 to save it.
3.
Listen to your message sent. Thank you for calling.
All right, long enough. But yeah, you guys, I mean, that's what's going on in this nation. Day after day, ritual after ritual. By the way, Adam Peter Lanza. Adam Lanza's full name. Adam Peter Lanza, 56. You know, the whole 73 thing, now that I think about it too, Adam Lanza's 73, Sandy Hook on the 73rd meridian. I think it's about sacrificing our rights and liberties, you know, because that's a big number again on today's shooting. On the 73 date numerology at the Covenant School in Nashville, Tennessee, with headmaster Catherine Kuntz. Oh, yeah. And you know what else? Now that I think about it, Dune Blaine, 73. Remember, the Dune Blaine massacre is what Sandy Hook was compared to, and the Dune Blaine massacre happened on the 73rd day of the year. Got gun rights taken away in the UK. So... Let's see. It's called the Nashville Police Department real quick. It's called the scene of the crime today. All right, hold on, chat. Help me out here. Is this school shooting, is it on the north end of town or the south end of town? Who's closer? We got a north precinct and a south precinct. It's on the south end of town. Can somebody else confirm that that's right before I call? Yeah, the South Carolina Lady Cocks have taken over women's basketball in the age of the bathroom bill. We know why that is. I am just waiting for them to come out and tell us that the shooter's transgender. I'm just waiting for that. It's a special kind of woman. You think call the sheriff instead? It's closer to the south. All right, here, we'll call both. We'll call the police department and we'll call police department and sheriff's department. Let's see. All right, so you guys said south end. Closes soon. That's right. There's such a thing as time zones. I'm out here on the West Coast. It's nowhere near closing time.
Have reached Metro Nashville Police Department South Precinct. If this is an emergency, please hang up and call 911. Para español, oprime el número 9. If you need to report a crime, request a police officer, or file a police report that is not an emergency, hang up and dial 615-862-8600. If at any time you would like to restart this menu, please press star. If you need to speak with a detective concerning a police report you have already filed, please press 1. If you need to obtain a copy of an accident or incident report, please press 2. If you need to speak with someone concerning car registration or tag renewal or handicap decals, please press 3. If you need to file a delayed accident report, please press 4. If you need to speak with South Precinct's community coordinator, please press 5. If you need to speak with South Precinct's El Protector program, please press 6. If you would like to speak with someone at South Precinct, Please remain on the line.
Wait while I transfer your call.
Hello, you have reached the Metro Police Department's South Precinct. If you are calling about a life-threatening emergency, please call 911. If you need an officer's assistance, call the dispatcher at 862-8600. This office is open Monday through Friday, 7:30 a.m. to 4 p.m., except on holidays. Return calls will be made during these office hours. If you need to speak with a detective, please call 862-7763.
Hi, my name is Zachary Hubbard. I'm an author, and I have been writing about the mass shooting pattern in this nation that's been going on for all of my lifetime. Seems the media always loves to point out the connection to 33 in a mass shooting, and it's just very interesting. Of course, it's a special number to Freemasonry, and when it comes to police, who are so often in charge of the scene in most American towns, the police station's right next to the Masonic Lodge. But in this case, they tell us the school's at 33 address number. They tell us that 3 adults and 3 children are killed. And then they even report that there's 33 teachers that work at the school. And again, I happen to know about a little Kabbalistic code, a little Masonic secret about, the numbers behind the words, and words like police, order, secrecy, masonry, federal, they all equal 33. In this case, it's a school. 33 is the master teacher number, and teacher also equals 33. But again and again, just the same type of stuff. And then on top of that, it's the 86th day of the year. Nashville's on the 86th meridian. These kind of patterns go on all throughout the nation. Shootings by the numbers. There's even a song by the band The Police called Murder by Numbers, where killings as simple as ABC is 1, 2, 3, and it's the sport of the elected. And here's the politicians after every last one of these shootings calling for, the disarming of the populace, the undermining of what America's about. And it looks like a major propaganda campaign waged by a Kabbalistic code where people like police officers, such as you guys, go out and participate in these rituals for the sake of keeping your job. So you can keep a roof over your house, and that's kind of the problem in America. Just everyone's towing the line and going along with criminal activity by our government as we lose more and more of our rights and liberties. And I'm just hoping somebody at the station will receive this message that actually cares about America and its future, and will do the right thing. What we never see in any of these supposed shootings is any evidence that anything ever happened. The whole Sandy Hook era forward, not one piece of evidence of anything, just stories with the same old numbers. So thank you for listening. And by the way, nice touch. Joe Biden today said, it's time to bring back the assault weapons ban. Go figure that it's exactly 28 weeks from the assault weapons ban anniversary, as they blame it on a 28-year-old white woman. So thanks again for listening. Hope the right person receives this message. And for anybody who knows that this is going on and is participating for a paycheck, shame on you. Shame on you. All right, take care. By the way, you guys got better hours than bankers' hours. How about it? They get off at 4 p.m. I mean, come on. Guess I know what time to go out to Tennessee and start performing crimes after 4. Okay. Well, we'll try the sheriff's department too. Let's try it out. Not that they're any better. I actually didn't catch wind of what county it was in, but let's see. Is Nashville in Davidson County? It looks like it is. Davidson County. Man, they got some bad reviews. What's the difference between these two? They got, I guess Nashville's a pretty big city, so they got two. I'll call the one with better reviews because I can actually see their whole phone number on the screen.
CDC 01945 is not available.
Really? Okay. They're closed, that one. And this one said not available. The authorities never are. Okay. Yeah, you guys, I am planning to be down in Olympia this weekend, and I haven't. I'll let you know what day I'm going to be there. If it'll be Saturday or Sunday. Sweet lady still doesn't have her schedule for the weekend, but she's only working one day this weekend. So the day that she works will be the day that I also go down to the Capitol, and it's going to be about I'll have a lot of driving that day because it's probably about It's probably about 3.5 hours each way to the Capitol. So I got 7 hours of driving that day. But I'll leave early, so we got plenty of time. And I will keep you posted on Saturday or Sunday. And I will have the really sweet speaker with me. Shout out to Lincoln Karam, who told me just which one to get. So... All right, Austin. I look forward to that. Yeah, I'll keep you guys posted on which day it'll be. So, I'll hopefully I'll ask her tonight if they told her yet if she's working Saturday or Sunday. Whenever she knows, I'll know. And again, pretty soon I'll also be heading out to Moscow, Idaho, to talk about what they really did there to those college students, and then pretty soon we'll be on the way down to Southern California. We'll be stopping by Silicon Valley and also Los Angeles. So try and wake some people up to what happened to Kobe, dead at 41 on the Pope's 41st day of his age while traveling from Catholic Mass when Kobe Bryant's 41 like LA. And then, of course, the Lakers won the NBA Finals that year, 41 weeks after LeBron's birthday, on the nose on Father-Daughter Day. Shout out to John Mendoza. He appreciated the stream. He chipped in $2. I do appreciate that, John. Thank you very much. Yeah, they are going to say more gun control. They're already doing it. And I do appreciate your financial contribution. It's going to be an expensive set of days here with all the driving coming up. Gas prices are through the roof again. Every time I get back out on the road, gas prices are through the roof. So... Did they really say that? Is that I was wondering when I first heard that it's a woman. I was wondering if I was like, really? Because you don't hear about many female mass shooters. I was like, it's gonna be something else if they end up saying it's a male to female transgender, the shooter. Yeah. All right. Here, let's see this. It's so predictable, isn't it? Here, okay. The other reason I was wondering if they might do that is because of the date numerology. All right, they've put out a name, Audrey Hale. Images of 3 trans women were put out, said to be the gunman. Okay, you guys. So, okay. I almost made a point about this at the beginning of the stream. If it's going to end up being one of those lady cocks, I think they're playing today. But and remember, Tennessee, like the dominant women's team over the years have been the Tennessee Volunteers, the Yukon Huskies, and then in the era of the bathroom bill, it's those Ladycocks out of South Carolina. Here we are in Tennessee today. But here's the thing. Today's lesser date numerology is 53. And remember, that's the number that's all over everything. Whenever we're talking about, trans, it always comes back to 53. So today's lesser date numerology is 53. You just get that by adding 3 plus 27 plus 23 for 53. And remember when Sexy Bruce laid it all out on the cover of Vanity Fair? And for people who are new here, I have about a gazillion examples of trans in 53. Come to my website and just search. And by the way, I have two websites. They're on even the older one. Leah Thomas was just 153 thing after the next. Remember the self-identified female swimmer who dominated women's swimming. I wonder why. But so many 53 rituals. Hold on. I just want to show you about. There's a lot of these stories that I could go to, but hold on. First transgender. Let's see if it pulls up. All right, Christine Jorgensen is recognized as the first transgender woman. So I just want you to see that from the beginning up to now, it's always been 53. Notice their birthday, May 30th, 530, right? And then what day did they die? May 3rd, 5-3. Shout out to Kayla Decode Talker. She was the first person to make that observation. But when Kayla found this, it was after already years of just talking about trans in 53. So here we are on the lesser, on the date numerology that's 53, and now we have a transgender shooter. Predictable, truly. Let's read the latest. Hold on, let me get a screenshot here first to add this to the post. Okay. Audrey Hale. A heavily armed woman who gunned down 3 children and 3 staff members at a Nashville school on Monday appears to be a former student of the private Christian campus, police said. At one point, she was a student at the school, Metropolitan Nashville Police Chief John Drake told reporters hours after the shooting at the Covenant School. But unsure what year, but that's what I've been told so far. The shooter was identified as Audrey Hale, 28, of Nashville, according to the chief, who said she identifies as transgender. God. Oh, Audrey Hale, 53. How did I guess? How did I guess that Audrey Hale equaled 53? You see the 170 as well? Hold on. Yeah, it's not transgender, but here's what I want to show you about the 150, the 170 thing. Okay. Tennessee's birthday is June 1st. June 1st, 2023 to today. Oh, yeah. Okay, that's also interesting because I talked about how mass shooting is 66 and it's 66 days to the upcoming birthday. Mass shooting 66, so is woman. And remember the surname Jenner, which sounds like gender and kind of this whole thing jumping off with Bruce. But okay, 66 days before the state's birthday. And wait a minute, what was it? I know. No, this is not going to be right. It was something I looked at earlier. It was Bill Lee. It's not even that important, really, but okay. Today is Bill Lee's 170th day of his age, the governor. Okay, 170th day of his age, and again, these rituals are always synced up with the governor. But Audrey Hale, this is for people who are new here. You have no idea how many times we've talked about transgender in 53, and now we got the. Oh, man. And then the lemming will come through and be like, but there's 4 ciphers. Yeah, so that made it 100% possible chance it would equal up 53. That's the problem with living in an idiocracy. It's like, yeah, there's 4 ciphers. What are the probability that their name's going to equal 53 on the 53 date to join a pattern that's just been going on all throughout history that we've documented a million times? It's called slim to none odds. Slim to none. Oh, man. All right. Shout out to Amy. Amy chipped in 5. She has a post on it. Let's check out Amy's post. Amy does the great work and comes through with the tips. Shout out to Jill Warsaw, who chipped in 10. I appreciate that. You guys are going to help me get out of the driveway as much as gas costs these days. But Amy's website, you guys, she's also doing a great job, cracktheircode.org. And she has a YouTube channel, Crack Their Code. Let's see. Since she linked her post, I got to assume she's got some additional information here. We definitely got the 33 part. 33 teachers at the school. The first call on the shooting came in at 10:13 a.m. Oh, remember, numerology, if a zero is in the middle of a number, it's like a null thing. So the numbers that are there are 113. Again, they're comparing this to Sandy Hook. Sandy Hook Elementary School, 113. And remember, Sandy Hook, they had the photo out with the students with the hands on the shoulders, and then they did the same thing at Stoneman Douglas High School, but the kids were older, which was another 113. And again, that's a big Freemasonry number. Again, the Scottish Rite of Freemasonry, Scottish 113. You see how Scottish Rite's 57? It's kind of like how in Super Bowl 57, Mahomes came in 10-3 in the 103rd NFL season in the playoffs, and then he beat the Eagles, becoming 11-3 in the Super Bowl. Eagles 113, does the State Farm commercials 103 in State Farm Stadium while watching the Mahomes ad. You watch him win the Super Bowl. Obvious scripted ritual. American football credited to the Freemason Walter Camp. So nice find there, Amy. The first call at 10:13 a.m. Oh, the shooter was dead at 10:27 a.m. Okay, I see what they did there, because today's shooting was 127 days after Joe Biden's birthday. And notice, Scottish Rite of Freemasonry, 127. So the Scottish theme is there. And think about this too. First call at 10:13, shooter dead at 10:27. Dead 14 minutes later? Dead 14. Dead at 27 minutes past the hour on the 27th. Again, just to come back to that Scottish thing, 103, that's the 27th prime. 27 is the ritual number. Out here in Washington State, the assault weapons ban passes 27 days after Inslee's 72nd birthday. She also pointed out how the governor syncs up sacrificing the rights and liberties, 170th day of his age. Yeah, also true. And now we know Audrey Hale's 170. And also 4 years and 67 days later, blood sacrifice and human sacrifice, 67 and 86. 4 number associated with death. She's got the 66 thing. She pointed out another thing about the she measured to his upcoming birthday instead of from his last. Again, 163 days after the last birthday, the 38th prime. But yeah, again, I mean, I don't know how you could watch these videos in real time, especially like when I'm going, okay, 53, and then we decode the name in real time, and it's 53 for the 5 gazillionth time. We've talked about the same exact thing. But thank you to the people who chipped in. Shout out to Chris, chipped in $5. I appreciate that. Shout out to Truth Vibration Podcast, who chipped in $2. Yeah, that is true. Shooting does have a connection to 53. And 37, going with 37 date numerology. But yeah, I do appreciate the people who support the work. And again, this coming weekend, will be at the Washington State Capitol to talk about this agenda. I was already planning to do that before today's shooting. I've been telling you that for the last 2 weeks, I needed to do a presentation on what they're doing out here in Washington State. And today was the day to talk about it because it's another reminder of what's going on nationwide. So that's all right. Yeah, right. The Matrix. I do believe, yeah, right. The Matrix will be out in DC on April 7th. So get the word out there. Shout out to King Charles with the super sticker. I don't even know what the difference is in that, but I appreciate it. So, I guess here I'll do one more thing before maybe there's somebody out there that has some information who's listening. If you would like to join the stream, I am going to post it, the link. All you do is click on it. You don't have to put your face on the screen, but you do have to give us your mic so we can hear you. There's a link that was just posted in the live chat. All you got to do is click that link, follow the instructions. If you don't want your face, just got to make sure I don't let any trolls on. We all know what happened last weekend with the troll. He ruined the stream by coming on and giving us a nice view of his little pecker. By the way, I was watching CNN. They finally took a break from the Nashville story, and it was funny because, it was two blonde women talking about the Trump hush money thing. Again, another news story by the numbers, but one of the blonde ladies was real adamant about the word pecker because, again, that David Pecker is part of the story. And you could see the other blonde woman was trying not to bust up from laughing about how the woman just kept saying pecker. And again, you guys, it's just a reminder that the news is just a total joke. Not only is it numerical ritual, but it's also wordplay all the time, just like covenant. Joe Biden's been saying he's going to, there's going to be gun reform during his administration. Trump's hush money involving the pecker. It's a joke, man. But yeah, for anyone who else saw that footage today, might have given you some much needed comic relief. Two blondes. It was like a new blonde joke. The one blonde seemed totally clueless, but the other one was just doing her best not to bust up on screen. So, indeed, Dick Butt Kiss, Jake Dick Butt. All right, again, I'll post the link one more time in case people didn't see it. Yeah, that is true. Today's 100 days after the Pope's birthday, and wasn't the name of the woman also 100? What was her name? Audrey Hale. I think I saw 100 up here. Yeah, today is 100 days after the Pope's birthday. So, you see the 46,170? The word sacrifice, 46, 170, 73, going with the date numerology as they sacrifice our rights and liberties, one ritual at a time, one encoded propaganda story at a time. Hold on, we got Matthew. Well, Matthew was coming in the room and then he disconnected. Matthew, I'm not sure what went wrong there, but if you were trying to get in here, try it again. That's true. That's true. Good point, decoding with Cody. Because it's also, it is 10 years and 103 days. We talked about the 103 days from the Sandy Hook anniversary, but that 1013 sequence, 113 is in it. Going with the 1013 shooting. Yeah. Yeah, indeed. All right, we got DD222 in here. What's up, DD222? DD222, I can't hear you. Your mic might not be connected. Maybe there's a mute button on your mic.
Hi.
Hello. Now I hear you.
Sorry, my signal's not very good. Sorry. Yeah. So I'm in New Zealand. Can
Yes,
you hear me now?
there's calls in America today for us to do what New Zealand did.
No, don't do that.
Indeed.
No, I was just thinking about the Sandy Hook thing that you were talking about. So prior to the Christchurch shooting here that we had, I think I talked to you about this when it first happened years ago, and I think your video got taken down, but I'll talk about it in code a little bit better. So prior to that shooting here in Christchurch, they had this ad that kept coming up for life insurance, and I found it really odd because New Zealand doesn't really do a lot of life insurance ads, and this one was really different because they were kind of like made it into a joke. So the guy dies and he's going up this terminal and he's coming up to this platform where there's a train, and the thing that caught my eye was the terminal number because it was so long, and I was like, what the? So I screenshotted all of this. They've since taken the ad down because they said it was insensitive after the Christchurch shooting because it was before the shooting. But the number for the terminal, if you had punched it into Google Maps, it would actually come up with the location for Sandy Hook. And I was like, wow, okay. And there was lots of references to Sandy Hook in it, but there was like little jokes. They were, and I thought, well, that's a bit weird. I kept saying to my partner at the time, I kind of feel like there's going to be a shooting in New Zealand, and he's like, nah, that's never going to happen. New Zealand, that just sort of stuff does not happen. And he's like, what even gives you that idea? And I'm like, well, this ad, I just find this odd that they've got the Sandy Hook location as the terminal, and then they're just kind of the way they're all laughing in the video, and he's like, oh, I don't think that'll ever happen, and then it happened, and I was like, wow, okay. So that really led me down the number trail, and I've just been finding pattern after pattern. So you can search this yourself. The day the Queen was brought out of the Abbey, it was at exactly 2:22 p.m. and her apparently reached the Abbey at 3 or whatever, the other place wherever they were taking her for the ceremony. But then the Christchurch earthquake, which is another big thing for us because that was kind of like the big major prior, other than the shooting for us, like that's really gotten us a lot of light. So that one I found weird was a week before the earthquake, they had this newspaper article up where CERN was putting a mini collider up in our World War II bunkers, because we've got two World War II bunkers still up in the hills up there. And I thought, well, that's interesting. Why would CERN be putting a mini collider there? Well, they took the article down. I screenshotted it all. I've still got all these articles and stuff like that, because Spirit just kind of says, okay, take evidence before it's gone, because I know what they're like, it's gone. But anyways, they put a mini collider in, and then I think it was a week later we had the Christchurch earthquake. Well, the Christchurch earthquake happened in February, which is the second month, on the 22nd day. There again is your 222. And I was like, okay, I'm starting to see all these scripture. Jesus' last words on the cross were from Psalms 2:22. And then if you actually search up Strong's Concordance 222, it comes up with the angel that was apparently standing at the cross with him that caught the blood and water. I'm only saying this stuff because to me it's like they've been coding for a very long time.
Like I always say, it all goes back to the 16th century. You can follow history all the way back to then, when the calendar rolled out and the language was standardized as it was, and that's why it's obvious who's been doing it the whole time. It's the Catholic Church, their Jesuit order.
Exactly. Even the day Julius Caesar was assassinated was 15th of March.
The Christchurch thing happened on the Ides of March, the 74th day of the year, and yeah, it just couldn't be any more obvious. And
3 days before the shooting, they the blood drive, which is only like 4 buildings down from where the shooting was, their slogan was the devil doesn't want your soul, he wants your blood. So I rung the blood drive and I asked them, what is this slogan about? And they're like, what? We didn't even know that was there. And then the newspaper article after the Christchurch shooting was, oh, thank God we had a blood drive 3 days beforehand or we wouldn't have enough blood for all these people. And I was like, what? That is not coincidence. That was pre-planned. You have to be silly if you think that that's just by coincidence. It was all by design.
Indeed. Indeed.
Also, I found that the day, not only it was the day of Ides, like you said, it was also a very big ritual day for, you know, the satanic, whatever. But it was their ritual that day was supposed to be on the little children, and because I've done a lot of digging on these special days and stuff to these people because they do planetary alignments and all sorts of stuff, and they know things that we don't. And what I've come to the conclusion is they don't want us to know how powerful we are, because we are actually very powerful. They just want us to be confused, like, you know, to divide and conquer. That's what Eads means. We were even told a house divided cannot stand. We are the house. They know that, and they're trying to tear down that house. And that's what I feel about the whole jabby jab thing, you know. That's another way to get into our temple and to edit our DNA and all sorts of stuff. Like, yeah.
Just as you bring up the body is the temple. For people who don't know this one, if you write out Masonic temple, it equals 206. And why is that significant? That's how many bones are in an adult body. 206 bones. The body is the temple.
I didn't know that one.
It's in the first chapter of my first book. You guys should read the first chapter of my first book. It's pretty amazing. If I do say
I will read it.
So.
Well, also the is it Genesis 2:22? The woman is that's where the woman comes from the rib.
Good one. Good one. Yeah.
But have you got any questions for little New Zealand over here?
I don't have any questions, but you got a lot of great observations and reminders. Too bad they wouldn't put you on the nightly news. So
I'm thinking about making my own little podcast because I've got enough information. I didn't want to, you know, start a podcast until I had enough information to kind of prove some of these things that I'm saying to you. It's much better when I can show you the different articles and the actual writings of what I've got, because it sounds a little jumbled when I'm trying to just say it, but I'm more of a visualist.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah, you should start your own podcast. I think it'd be great. You're good at this. You got a nice voice. There's not enough women doing the work. I think it'd be a success.
Well, thank you. You'd be my first guest.
Okay. All right. I appreciate that.
Thanks for allowing me to share.
The people around you, the people you know, how many of them are open to the information?
There's very few that I talk to that put the pieces together like I do. But what's interesting is when I show people the stuff that I've, you know, collected, they kind of go, oh, okay. And then when it happens, they're like, how did you know? And I'm like, they tell you. They tell you what they're going to do before they do it. They give you hints, little subtle hints, keywords. You got to add up the codes. And the point of it is when it comes down to it, when the final day comes down to it, you can't stand there and say they didn't tell you, because they told you. You were ignorant to it. You were just blind. You just didn't want to see the symbols and the signs. You just wanted to go, nope. And that's where ignorance is bliss. That's the key to it. They just want to keep people in ignorance, keep them in this blissful, oh, look, play on your Wii, your Switch, or YouTube and this and that. When reality is we can all interconnect with each other way stronger than any of these devices they've got.
I agree. Yeah, they got everybody distracted and divided. That's the game. So.
Yep. but the ones that need to hear it are hearing it. You know, there are people waking up. There is hope.
Yeah, there are people waking up, and thanks to people like you helping get out the word, that's why it's happening. So thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate you, because I listen to you every now and then when I can. I've got 4 kids, so it's quite hard, you know.
Wow, mom duties too. Amazing.
Yeah, that's why people go, how do you have time to collect all this information and then 4 kids? And I'm like, well, I stay up quite late. It's like spirit stirring in me. I can't sleep. I got to connect the dots. And then when I've done it, I'm allowed to sleep.
Okay. Yeah, make sure you get that rest though. It's important. So
Yeah, I do know that one. I've been starting to make myself go to bed a bit earlier because I'm getting worn out trying to connect it all.
indeed. Yeah. My sister also has 4 kids, and that's also kind of one of her excuses. She doesn't have time for any of this. But now I talk to a
that's
mother of 4
BS.
kids. You got time. Not even my own
You can
sister.
get her to listen to this, yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah. Well, good for
Knowledge
you.
is there.
It's good to know
Thank
that
you.
somebody like you has 4 kids. That means we got 4 more winners coming up in the world. So,
Oh,
thank you.
definitely. That's fine. My son, he just started high school this year, and he's like, Mom, I figured out what high school is after the first week. And I said, what's that, hon? He said, it's literally prison. And I was like, what? And he goes, well, think of it like this. He goes, I go there and I'm not allowed to leave. I can't say what I feel like. I got to do what they tell me to do. He had this list of stuff, and I said, well, okay, you're not completely wrong. You're on the right track there, boy. Because it's hard to raise children in this society, because I've had to explain to him, look, you know what it is, but you can't go around voicing that to your friends, because what ends up happening is we become a target, you know. People don't like it when you know the truth. It threatens their whole reality of this fakeness they've got. And so he's pretty wise to who he can talk to about certain things, because, you know, people give us the cockeyed look if we get all too spiritual and understanding. Because like New Zealand, I'll be honest, New Zealand, we've never really been about the whole trans thing that's going on right now. And I had warned my kid's dad. I said, look, this is going to be a thing here soon. And he's like, nah, that's an American thing. I said, no, you wait. My son started high school this year. He, you know, because he's not used to this sort of stuff. So when he said, Mom, what's with all the rainbow colored flags everywhere? And I said, oh, they're just trying to take God's promise. You know, there's even a scripture that says the pride before the fall talks about the rainbow. The rainbow's not theirs. It's not theirs. They can try. That's what I mean by they trying to confuse different symbols and numbers, and they know what they're doing.
Indeed they do. So,
but they're not going to brainwash my kid.
Yeah.
But
old Pride Month. You guys don't have
IC
that in New Zealand yet, do you? You guys don't have your Pride Month over there.
No, apparently I got told by my little sister that the other day they had protests, Pride protests. Was it transgender protest? They made a big hoo-ha about it.
Yeah. Out here, that's what we call it in June. Now it's Pride Month. So.
Yeah, I won't even buy Skittles anymore because they keep putting that stuff on the Skittle packets. I'm like, nah, sorry, rainbow does not mean that to me.
I never liked Skittles. They always made my throat itch. So.
Yeah, I don't eat them, but my kid, my kid's dad does. So I get them for him every now and then as a gift. But I was like, he can buy his own Skittles. I'm not buying that.
Funny, yeah. I think that's a good life choice. So.
Yeah, I don't eat sweets. I'm a chocolate woman.
There you go. Yeah. Okay.
Thank you for allowing me to come on and talk to your viewers and that, and yourself.
Of course. And when you got your podcast, come back and advertise it here. I think you have a lot of instant subscribers. So.
Thanks. I definitely will.
All right. Well, I really appreciate it. And it must be pretty late over there right now.
No, it's only 11:16 in the morning.
Oh, actually, okay. It's already the next day. That's how far away it is from here. Wow.
Yeah, we're a day
are-
ahead of you.
Wow.
I'm a time traveler.
Yeah, 20 hours ahead. It's amazing. It's a big Earth. Okay, 20 hours ahead of me. Amazing. So,
I'll catch you on the flip side then, eh?
yeah, indeed. Indeed. Well, you have a great rest of your day then. And thanks for taking some time to share your mind with us. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right. You have a good day.
Bye.
All right. Take care. Okay. So she's got a podcast coming. As soon as it's out, I'll be the first to promote it. And I know I said I wasn't going to promote people anymore, but I was only lying. So hopefully 5 years down the road, she doesn't turn on me too. But anyway, I think she'll be a winner every day going forward. I know somebody's been trying to join the room and has been having trouble. And I think it only works on certain browsers. Like if you're on an iPhone trying to join, I think you have to use Chrome. So if you got an iPhone and you're trying to join the stream, you got to do it on the Chrome browser. I think if you're on a computer, it should work on most. But yeah, if there was anybody else who wanted to join the stream, you're more than welcome to. Somebody asked about Columbine. You guys, I have books out there. They're in ebook form. You can download them. I know in my first book, Letters and Numbers, there's a big old chapter on mass shootings, and Columbine is definitely in there. And if I rewrote the book, there'd be even more in there. But if you go to page 357 of Letters and Numbers, that's my first book. Columbine happened April 20th, 1999. I was in high school back then. And again, I've told the story a million times, but after Columbine, we had a new high school policy. We had to wear name badges. And because I just refused to comply with idiocy, I refused to wear my name badge. So I got a lot of detention, and it always went like this. The security in the hallway would be like, "Hey, Hubbard, where's your name badge?" And I'd be like, "You know my name. What do I need a name badge for? Is a name badge going to protect me from bullets from the Columbine shooter?" I mean, God, it's just, what a policy. Oh, I feel so safe now that I have my name badge on when everybody already knows my name. But anyway. Okay, I wrote, for starters, Colorado is the 38th state. Again, there's so many mass shootings in Colorado. We just had another one on 322. Again, words like, well, Colorado itself equals 38, plus it's the 38th state. But words like, again, death, murder, killing, RIP, they're all 38. Again, the shooting in Nashville is 163 days after the mayor's birthday. The 38th prime. In Colorado, the baseball team, Colorado Rockies, equals 163, the 38th prime. Those numbers go together all the time. Tennessee, by the way, had a big 38 ritual with the Tyree Nichols story. Memphis equals 38, where MLK was killed by the numbers on the 95th day of the year. Martin Luther, like how Martin Luther wrote the 95 Theses. And don't forget, in that Tyree Nichols thing, the camera on the street, it changes position at 33 minutes past the hour to show the police beating that was compared to Rodney King beating on 3/3 back in 91. But anyhow, I wrote, for starters, Colorado is the 38th state, and it has reduction gematria 38 as well as ordinal gematria of 83. That's because murder equal 38 and 83. And again, this is in the middle of the chapter, so it doesn't just start there. But we've already gone over that pattern a million times in regards to mass shootings. Keep in mind, the last school shooting had been in Oregon. That was the one prior to Colorado. There's 5 states. 5 of the 50 states equal 38. Oregon is another one of them. Minnesota's another one. Remember, George Floyd was killed by a police officer on the corner of 38th Street in Minnesota. And then Portland, Oregon had the longest Black Lives Matter protest. Louisiana's another 38 state. You might recall the Facebook police officer killings of Philando Castile and Alton Sterling. Both came out at the exact same time in the 238 states. Police killing black men with the 38 code all over it. That was years before George Floyd. So anyhow, I showed that the date had numerology of 34. Murder equals 34 forwards, 38 in reverse. It was also a date with numerology of 142, and Columbine Massacre, as it was referred to, equals 142. So I wrote, thus the date was right for a murder conspiracy involving an act of terrorism carried out by the New World Order, aka government and authority. I also show how the date had the same numerology as government authority and NWO. If you have any doubts this is the case, I recommend you watch the publicly released surveillance tapes of the shooting, as they clearly show men in khakis and white-collared shirts walking around the campus while the mayhem is underway. And again, I mean, that's information that was out on the internet for many years for everyone to watch. And I think that's part of what the government likes to do. They just like to put the truth out there and realize how many people don't catch on and seem to not care or ignore it, or they watch it and they still can't figure it out because they believe so much in the authority. The authorities wouldn't do this to us. Again, if you guys have never seen the Columbine surveillance footage, look it up. You'll see exactly what I'm talking about. Guys in khakis and white t-shirts just walking around while the shooting's going on with clipboards, making it quite obvious that it was some kind of drill. Who are these men is the question you will ask, and why are they so calm? Personally, I was a junior in high school when this transpired, attending in Washington State, more than 1,000 miles from the shooting. Despite the distance, within a week, we had a new school policy born out of this fear-mongering and federal deceiving campaign. The new policy was all students in name badges at all times or detention. Okay, I guess I even wrote about it in the book. I forgot. I wasn't too good at following directions then, so my days often went something like this. Hey, Hubbard, where's your name badge? I'll see you in detention. Think about it. A hall duty, calling me by my name, requesting to know where my name badge was. This was my reality, and my point in sharing this story is to remind you that the contrived propaganda has real consequences over our lives. Back to the subject of the date of the shooting, April 20th, it was the 110th day of the 1999 calendar year, which once upon a time was Adolf Hitler's birthday, where Adolf Hitler has ordinal gematria of 110. So does president. He was the president of Germany. Adolf Hitler also equals 56. He supposedly committed suicide 1 week after his 56th birthday. I know we talked about that number earlier. You might also recall the World Trade Centers were 110 stories tall, and their demise was blamed on the caveman Osama bin Laden, who has name gematria of 110 as well. In light of the World Trade Centers, it is funny to mention that CNN reported the following in the wake of the Columbine massacre on the date of April 26, 1998, coming just after the 1-year anniversary of the event. Littleton, Colorado, the 2 teenage gunmen who killed 12 other students and a teacher before killing themselves in a 1999 attack on Columbine High School described their plan in detail in journals and said that if they could not get out of the country after the attack, they would hijack a plane and crash it into New York City. Again, look that up, you guys. And by the way, of the 2 Columbine attackers, I think it's Dylan Klebold. His birthday's here. Dylan Klebold, date of birth. Yep, September 11th. And again, CNN reported that they journaled that they wanted to hijack planes and fly them into New York City skyscrapers. You think this was predictive programming for 9/11? Again, this happened in 99 on the 110th day of the year before the 110-story World Trade Centers came down. Oh, yeah, I end up writing it down that it was Dylan Klebold, born September 11th, 1981. The other shooter was named Eric David Harris and he was born April 9th, 1981, the 99th day of the year, corresponding with the fact that 13 people were reportedly killed and another 21 injured. Again, in case you have forgotten, 13 as a word has gematria of 99. Not by surprise, the name Eric David Harris also has reduction gematria of 94, corresponding with the date of birth, 9/4. I don't know if I forgot to put it there, but I should have. The World Trade Centers opened on the 94th day in 1973. And in case you didn't know, World Trade Center, 94, hair, 94. They opened on the 94th day of the year. They came down on 41 date numerology. Construction began in 68, the same year 911 was made the national emergency dialing code. So really both of the shooters had the 9/11 connection. Hold on, we got somebody else in the stream. Christian, you're on.
Hey, you can hear me? Good.
I can hear you.
Okay. So I didn't have any. I don't have any information regarding Gematria or anything about any of the shootings going on or that have happened. But I wanted to call and get your thoughts on just two things. And the first being it's random, but the moon landing. So I was outside a couple nights ago, and I'm a avid, like, I like to look up in the sky at night and just see the stars and the moon and everything. And I was looking at the moon, and you can tell you can infer that it's the sun that's reflecting off of the moon that that shines the light back at the earth, is why you can kind of see it. At least that's what I'm thinking. Um, and then so I was looking up at the other stars, and obviously they could be something that's kind of like the sun with how that works. But I kind of had the thought that maybe some of them were kind of like the moon, the light reflecting. I mean, obviously, they say Mars. You can see Mars from the Earth, and it's a planet. And what I'm getting at is, do you think that we are supposed to evolve into kind of like Elon Musk says, a multi-planetary species? Like, do you think that that's and with how I'm trying to connect that all is your thoughts on what you've seen and read on the gematria of like the moon landing. Like, some people say it's a conspiracy, some people think it happens or it happened. So I'm kind of thinking, because I'm 23 and I don't have a career like set in place or like really know what I want to do, but it's kind of interesting to think that could be a part of our evolution as a human species to land on Mars and land on other planets, etc. And so, yeah, I didn't want it to be bullshit and then pursue a career trying to be an astronaut, for example, to participate in that, you know. So yeah, I guess what my question is, can
Okay, he dropped out. He was way off topic. I don't know if he's trying to get to like Anunnaki. Are we an alien slave race? It's possible. I don't know the answers to those questions. Nothing would surprise me. Just since he brought up the moon landing again, that happened on the 201st day of the year, you guys. The 201st day of the year, which is a major pattern also with mass shootings in history. 201 again. It's all the Jesuits are doing this. It's the number of the Jesuits. They were saved in history by Catherine the Great, who preserved the order with 201 Jesuit priests. We live in the time of the first Jesuit Pope, who's the first to live in Suite 201. His birth name, Jorge Mario Bergoglio, equals 201, like the founder of the Jesuits, Ignatius Loyola, equals 201. Before, the pandemic, there was Event 201 simulation put on by the Jesuit Klaus Schwab. The first major gun control legislation in this nation's history happened in 1968, 201 days after the assassination of Martin Luther King Jr., who was killed clearly in a Jesuit ritual, assassinated on the 95th day of 1968 when Martin Luther wrote the 95 Theses that brought about the Jesuits. So again, moon landing on the 201st day of the year. The moon is illuminated by the sun. Order of Illuminati equals 201, which is the formal title of the Illuminati, founded by the Jesuit Adam Weishaupt, who died in history 201 days after the anniversary of its establishment. So yeah, just to answer his question, are the people ruling over us alien? Is it like They Live? Remember Roddy Piper, the wrestler who starred in the film They Live. If you've never seen that film, you really should watch it. It's kind of cheesy, but at the same time, I think the plot's important. The metaphor in that movie is he gets these glasses and then he can see what he couldn't see that reveals the truth about society and who's ruling over us. It's kind of like Gematria. Gematria will lead you to the source of who's really running this place. And again, that movie came out 201 days after Roddy Piper's birthday. He ended up dying in history on the anniversary of Ignatius Loyola's death. He tweeted on the Jesuit anniversary of being recognized by the Roman Catholic Church that They Live was a documentary. And that movie did come out a Friday, the weekend of Remember the 5th of November, which is also associated with the Jesuit Guy Fawkes. So, okay. But yeah, anyway, the point is Columbine. You know what? If I'm not mistaken, hold on. I think there's actually a 201 in Columbine too that I've forgotten. I didn't write about it in my first book because I wasn't onto the 201 pattern back then. Let me check something out real quick. Oh yeah, it's Columbine shooting. The Columbine shooting, how it was also referred to as 201. So just speaking of that 201. And by the way, just with regards to the moon landing, the first guy to walk on the moon, Neil Alden Armstrong, moon landing July 20th, 201st day of the year. Yeah, Neil is alien reshuffled. Yeah, when callers call in always off topic, I do wonder if it's just the trolls too, just trying to break up the focus of the thing. And it's just like, why would you call in with any of that stuff in light of what the stream's about? We're talking about the way the nation's being taken down by an obvious cabal. This guy's like, well, I was just stargazing and I'll come back into the Columbine thing. Oh, by the way, Eric David Harris equals 113. That's one of the shooters in Columbine. There's that 113 again. At the end of the rampage, the shooters reportedly killed themselves. Please take a moment to examine the image of their dead bodies as it has been released to the public. If you have eyes to see, you'll realize the scene is obviously fake, from the position of the guns to the appearance of the blood. Part of the comedy of the contrived spectacle was that the shirts of the two young, spectacle was the shirts the two young men were wearing. Eric Harris wore a shirt reading Natural Selection, and Dylan Klebold wore one reading Wrath. We'll begin with the word wrath as it connects to the date of the shooting, April 20th. In Sumerian gematria, wrath equals 420. Again, the shooting was on 420. Sumerian gematria is just multiplying the alphabetic order times 6. A6, B12, C18, so on. As for the phrase natural selection, it ties in with eugenics and Hitler's supposed belief of wanting to create the perfect race. It also seemingly riddles in with marijuana, where April 20th is the stoner holiday, and Colorado would eventually become the first state to legalize marijuana. You have to understand the powers that shouldn't be have our entire futures planned out decades in advance. Don't forget, after that, after Washington and Colorado, the first two states to legalize, and then came the Up in Smoke Bowl. Let us now decode relevant terms in Jewish gematria, keeping in mind that this is all part of an ongoing Zionist agenda to see how it all comes together ever so perfectly. The words hoax, let's get high, Columbine, eugenics, and arrogant all have the same Jewish gematria. It is clear from doing this research that the tyrants are having a hearty laugh time and time again at the expense of the people who are subjected to this propaganda. For another laugh, let me show you how marijuana and 420 come together. Again, when you spell out 420 as a word, it equals 88 like marijuana, also like California, where the term 420 was coined. And don't forget that when marijuana was legalized in California, they opened the dispensaries exactly 420 days after the vote, for another tribute to the number. Columbine High School also equals 612 in Jewish gematria. And earlier in the chapter, I talk about all the 612s in mass shootings. God, what Sweet Lady and I were just watching a movie the other night where the police are investigating a shooting and it happened in room 612. I was like, there it is again. So many shootings over the years. Big number 612. I used to have a really nice post on my old website that Google took down on the 612 pattern in shootings, so they didn't like that one. But yeah, if you've never read my first book, Letters and Numbers, it's got a chapter in it that's over 100 pages long on pretty much all the mass shootings that had happened in the nation's history up through the time the book was finished being written. I was like done writing the book at the end of 2017, and then more stuff just kept happening. And then the Stoneman Douglas shooting happened. And after Stoneman Douglas, I just finished the chapter on shootings and said, okay, I got to get this book out there. So, yeah, 612 is the Minneapolis area code. 612 was all over the Stoneman Douglas shooting, and that school was named after Marjorie Stoneman Douglas from the Minneapolis area. And it was 612 days, if I remember right, from the Orlando shooting that was on 6/12, and so on and so forth. All right, guys. But if you got here late, feel free to rewind the video. Doesn't look like we have anybody else that wants to join the stream. And I was hoping maybe we get some people from the Tennessee area who might have some information who would be willing to join. Yeah, I hear Amy's sentiment. It's why I've been here every day for the last 10 years, exposing the same stuff day after day as consistently as possible. And yeah, it's I mean, I always imagine what might have happened if the channel hadn't been deleted 20 some times and the growth continued like it was in 2016 and 2017. I mean, if we were growing at the rate we were back then, I'd have millions of subscribers. We might have all of Tennessee in this stream right now. Things might actually be happening. Don't forget, old Google's a big 201 company. They just did the mass layoffs in the 201 ritual. They recently did a 20-for-1 stock split. Big tech's completely Jesuit. That's why they don't let you go against the agendas without squashing your channel. And in M's in Nashville. If you know anything from being on the ground, you're welcome to join the stream. Share what you know. Joe Nugent. Research that Bruce Lee quote. Be like water, because water can take on any shape. When people go around saying things like water doesn't bend, it's weird because, I mean, have you ever seen a raindrop? It's totally curved. A raindrop, condensation on a glass. The drop itself's totally curved. Stop regurgitating nonsense. Makes the entire truth community look dumb. People like you are the reason people don't listen to people like me. They just automatically associate me with you. They've listened to too many conspiratorial morons in their life who just say the most illogical things that they throw out the baby with the bathwater. Water doesn't bend. It's like, have you ever seen condensation? Raindrops? I mean, seriously? Water doesn't bend. Water comes down like flat pancakes. I don't know what gummy connect you're talking about. The person who used to send me gummies in the mail, they weren't any good. There was like no THC in them. She was getting ripped off. I kept telling her that. You could eat the whole package. You wouldn't even have the slightest buzz. So. All right, but thanks again to everyone who hit the like and the share. I think we're just about out of here because we don't have anyone joining. And in case I missed any super chatters, let me say thank you one more time. I do appreciate the donations. One of these days when I really need to raise funds, I'll come on with the real important content. Yeah, again, that channel recently that makes fun of Gematria, they had a stream, and he was gloating how in the first 10 minutes he had over $1,000 in super chats, and all he did was played a quick soundbite of Owen Benjamin going, "Yeah, my dad sucked a guy's cock once." It's like, man, people give up $1,000 like that just for that sound clip? It's not even that funny. Why do they care so much? Give them life-changing knowledge to stop an agenda that needs to be stopped. In a 2-hour live stream, you can raise about $20. Appreciate it again. Thank you, John Mendoza, who chipped in too. Jill Warsaw, who chipped in a big fat 10. I appreciate that. Crack their code. Amy, who did the great work and chipped in 5. Chris Probst with a $5 bill. Truth Vibration Podcast with 2. King Charles with the $1.49. And Carl Streener with 5 British pounds, which goes far because they're worth more than US dollars. Carl said, Denmark for Euros, Zachary Soccer. Thoughts, please? 32 years versus Germany, 32 seeds Russia. You know, Carl, I honestly do not have a clue about what's going on in international football right now. I did pay attention to the World Cup, which was too easy to call. Of course, Argentina, who won it in 86, is going to win the day after the Pope's 86th birthday. But I might not be covering any more international football until the next World Cup, so... Sorry I can't help out, Carl. I do appreciate the generosity, though. I know you're good with the knowledge, so whatever you're looking for, you will figure it out. And yeah, the flyers, if people want to compound payment with me and bring flyers, that would be great. Usually when I'm out pounding pavement, it's too hard to pass out flyers because I'm usually holding a megaphone or a mic and speaking. You can only do so many things with so many hands. But all right, we'll leave it there for now. Thanks again to everyone who hit the like and share. And until next time, True Seeker.